So what is next for them? If this announcement had happened 2 years ago, it'd be Steven Gerrard. I would be very much surprised if they appoint Steven Gerrard, although it would be one of the funniest things to ever happen in the Premier League ever. So I don't think it'll happen. If we're gonna we'll look at some sports betting, not sports betting, but we'll just look at some 10 contenders. So this is what this website has as some potential contenders. The first one is Gerrard. Won't happen, if we're all honest. Next one is Dirk Kuyt. Doubt it. Very much doubt it. The next one after that is Erik ten Hag. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. It won't happen. But imagine if he gets sacked from United and then goes to Liverpool and then wins the league with Liverpool. Oh, fuck. That would be, jeez, that would be a story and a half. It's very unlikely that happens, in my opinion. Very unlikely. It's a great thought though. It's a great thought experiment. Zidane. Nah, I don't think it'd work. I think Zidane he only works at very particular jobs. Very, very particular jobs, and I don't think Liverpool's that. I think they need more. I think Liverpool need a little bit more of a not. Maybe this is recency bias, and because Klopp has worked, I think they need a very extroverted manager. I think the way that Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have any reasonings. I just don't think it'd work. I just don't think it's the right fit. Just vibes. Emery, nah. I don't think Emery. I think that's a point. I don't think that should happen at all. I think Emery has found his level at Villa. He will do very well with teams like Villa, but I don't think that next step. He's a fantastic floor raiser. Emery's a unbelievable floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser. Can't take good teams and make them elite. He can make average teams good. Can't make good teams elite, in my opinion. Nagelsmann, yeah, that would be good. I wouldn't mind Nagelsmann. I think they're similar vein type thing when it comes to Klopp. Like it's play similar style of philosophy. Maybe not game style exactly, but their philosophy is relatively similar. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Pep Linders, that would be the natural kind of successor in a sense, and it would be the most similar. Like it would be if Liverpool don't want to upset the apple cart at all, if they don't want to take a risk, I think Pep Linders is the guy because it's basically just Klopp 2.0. Obviously with tweaks and tinkers and whatever, but it'll be a very similar way of playing football. The vibe around the club will be very similar, and the players and the profile of players that work on the club will probably work under Linders as well. So you won't need a lot of squad turnover. You won't necessarily have this warming in period because the players will be used to Linders anyway. So maybe it's that, I don't know. Then you got someone like De Zerbi. That would be a big step in his career. I don't necessarily think he's proven exactly what he can do at Brighton. He's obviously done very well, and he's probably taken what Potter has done and elevated it a little bit better. But I just think he needs a couple more years to fully establish himself, and maybe needs a bridging step. Maybe a Spurs would have been a good move for him if they had gone with him instead of Ange before this season. But I just think maybe it's too big of a step, and maybe it's a little bit too early as well. So I don't think maybe him. You got people like Ange. I think it'd be a great fit, but I don't think it'll happen. I think it'll be a great fit, but I don't think it'll happen. I really do. I think it would be fantastic to see, like as an Australian, as a person who loves Ange, it'll be a fantastic story because obviously boyhood club, etc. Like Ange is a Liverpool supporter, but I don't think it'll happen. I think he's too committed to Tottenham right now, and I think it's one of those moves where if it works, great. If it fails and he gets sacked after 18 months, he won't be in demand for a lot of other clubs. And I think it's one of those moves where it's like very high risk, high reward, but also if that risk doesn't pay off, it could ruin his career. And I still think he's got tickets in the bank to keep going and have a couple more very good years at the top level of Europe. So I don't think Ange should go there. And the obvious one is Xabi Alonso. That's the obvious one. And is it obvious for a reason? Yes. Yeah, it's obvious for a reason. Because it's the natural. It is the natural attempt at a level up. Like I mentioned with Linders, if they went with Linders, it would be the ultimate sidestep move, which isn't bad because Liverpool are top of the league. So if Liverpool went sideways and they stay top of the league and they stay top four minimum, that's not a bad thing. Whereas Xavi Alonso is one of those people where it can take them to that next level. And for him to take Liverpool to the next level, with Liverpool already being a couple of points clear at the top of the table in all four competitions, in a cup final, and we're already in January, I think that's a very scary proposition. Very scary proposition. It's a completely different way of playing football. Obviously, Xabi Alonso playing this three at the back formation at Bayer Leverkusen. They have not lost a competitive game all year. The last game that they've lost, including friendlies, was in June. And obviously, the fullbacks of Grimaldo and Frimpong have just been exceptional this season. And he's getting the best out of people like Xhaka, out of Florian Wirtz. So he's able to get a lot out of some technically limited players like Xhaka, but also a lot out of technically gifted players like Wirtz, and I think that profile matches Liverpool's squad composition quite well because you've got the technically limited players, people like Endo, but then you've got players like Szoboszlai who has technical ability coming out of his ears, right? So I think that would be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, and I think it's a very scary proposition because Xabi Alonso is just coming into this kind of area of his career where he's just about started to peak, and if he can match up with a squad that's ready to go, it could be very, very interesting. Obviously, plus the connection that he has with the club. It's obvious, and it's obvious for a reason, but I think it's obvious, and it's obvious for a reason, because I just think it just works. It just works, and I think they should do it. They just should do it. And they should go hell for leather at the end of the year. Blank check, he'll come. And it is one of those things where it's like, it's almost just written in the stars type thing. But yeah, that's I think enough on the Klopp section, because we've spoken about Klopp at Liverpool, what's next for Klopp, and then what's next for Liverpool. So there you go.